to learn my team because, as you guys have already mentioned, there's a ton of talent on both of these teams, but there's not a whole lot of experience. In fact, of the players that are here today, Duke has just 87 combined starts. Kentucky's even lower than that at 62, and truly this will be their first test of the season. Matt Jones, guard for Duke, he told me as a veteran, it is his responsibility to help these guys calm down a little bit. He said, I know there's going to be some wide eyes. I just have to remember to tell them to have fun and enjoy the moment.
All right, Shannon, thank you. And let's see how these young players step up. For many of them, this will be the biggest game they have ever played in. There are some more experienced players. You see the likes of Matt Jones, Emil Jefferson, Marshall Plumlee taking the court for Duke, and of course Grayson Allen, the sophomore who broke out at the end of last season. Let's look now at tonight's Sonic Showdown with Kentucky leading the overall rivalry 11-9, but Duke has won 7 of the last 8, including a win in the Champions Classic 3 years ago in Atlanta. Basketball royalty on both ends of the court, and more to come with the second game tonight between Kansas and Michigan State. What are you looking for? What's one of the keys, Jay, heading into this one?
Well, one of the keys is going to be driving the basketball. Both teams like to spread the floor and put the ball on the deck. If you can guard your man and stay in front, that keeps you out of rotation and out of scramble.
And Kentucky with the first possession of the night. Both teams are 2-0 on the young season, but both are facing a much tougher team than they have faced so far.
Right out of the gate, Jamal Murray being guarded by Brandon Ingram. That is a lot of length on Murray, who's 6'5" and an excellent offensive player.
Ingram is 6'9", two of the most hyped freshmen in college basketball this year. Screened by Scout Labissiere, and now Murray with a shot clock down to 3. He will drive and lay it in.
Well, just so easy, and you're going to see Kentucky try to reverse the ball, and they're going to put it on the deck, and they are going to put their head down and drive and make Duke rotate. That's going to open up the offensive glass.
Murray, the freshman from Kitchener, Ontario, had a huge performance at the Nike Hoop Summit this past summer. Emil Jefferson won't take that long jumper. Grayson Allen will take the 3, in and out, all over the glass for the Blue Devils, and it's Marshall Plumlee with a putback.
Boy, the offensive glass is going to be a big factor on both ends of the floor, and Emil Jefferson and Marshall Plumlee are excellent offensive rebounds. Marshall Plumlee averaging over 2 a game. Emil Jefferson 6.5 offensive rebounds a game so far.
Isaiah Briscoe, Labissiere is fouled by Jefferson.
Kentucky continuing to drive the ball. Rotations early on a bit slow for Duke. They're going to have to remedy that. At first you want to stay in front of the ball, but that's almost impossible to do with as good a drivers as Kentucky has got. They play basically 3 point guards. Isaiah Briscoe, Jamal Murray, and Tyler Ulis are all point guards.
So here is Labissiere from Haiti, and like so many in that nation, his home devastated by the earthquake some years ago, moved to the United States, attended high school in Memphis. You can see the #2 overall recruit in the ESPN 100. What do people really have to know about his game?
Well, he's very skilled, and he can shoot it, so he can step away. If he sets a screen, he can actually play pick and pop basketball. So when you're taking away the drive, they can throw back, and he's a guy that can knock down a perimeter jump shot. Kentucky downing or icing the ball screen on the right side.
Allen, 54 points in Duke's first 2 games this year against Siena and Bryan, and Mike Krzyzewski has set off, and were it not for his performance in the national championship game, they would not have won that game.
Well, he had 16 points in 21 minutes, and I think he scored 8 straight at one point in that game. And Mike Krzyzewski also said that one play where he dove on the floor for a loose ball might have been one of the best plays he's seen as the Duke head coach.
The foul's on Marcus Lee, his first. Inbounded to Allen, who's just named the ACC Player of the Week. A rejection by Lee. Numbers for Kentucky. Ulis. Labissiere with a slam.
Well, you turn the ball over in this game, your offense has to help your defense. And if you turn it over, you are starting a break. That's the first pass in your opponent's fast break. Nobody called that screen out for Tyler Ulis. He got nailed by Jefferson.
And Jay, the Duke starting lineup really without a true point guard, but the coaching staff believes that all 3 perimeter players, Jones, Allen, and even Ingram, can initiate the offense. Ingram misses the 3. Long rebound. And the Duke players a little bit slow getting to that loose ball. Murray with the handoff and the lay-in for Briscoe.
Well, you better get a loose ball because Kentucky's leaking out early. If you can get the loose ball from Kentucky, you got a chance to get an easy basket. Otherwise, they're getting the easy one by leaking out early and going the other way.
And Kentucky has bolted out to an early 5-point lead here in Chicago.
Down in the ball screen and good reversal.
This is Jones. Shot clock at 10.
Kentucky really staying in front effectively, trying to make Duke shoot over the top.
Jefferson can't finish. Offensive rebound again, Plumlee, and he's got both baskets tonight for the Blue Devils.
Whenever you get two guys going after a block shot, you better block it because it's going to open up the offensive glass if you don't.
Ulis will have a huge role on this Kentucky team this year, expected to be one of the top point guards in America. How about the reverse by Isaiah Briscoe, the freshman from Union, New Jersey.
A great drive, but a poor closeout by Brandon Ingram. Just got caught flat-footed, and Briscoe just drove right past him.
Ingram keeping the dribble alive, guarded by Murray. Allen trying to turn the corner on Briscoe. Gets it off the glass, too strong. And look who's on the glass again. It's the Marshall Plumlee show so far for Duke.
The best offense for Duke has been a missed shot. Now turnover from Kentucky.
Marcus Lee not expecting a pass off his shoulder into the backcourt.
Kentucky has been getting to the basket at will on their offensive end, and Marshall Plumlee has been getting offensive rebounds at will. Grayson Allen trying to get a foul call, doesn't get it. Nobody puts a body on Marshall Plumlee. It's 3 offensive boards for the big guy.
First substitution for Mike Krzyzewski, Derek Thornton, freshman to point guard. Wearing number 12 will come into the game, so Duke has gone smaller as Jefferson has gone to the bench. And Alex Poitras, back from the torn ACL a year ago, has checked in for the first time tonight for Kentucky.
John Calipari talking to Alex Poitras just about playing like an elite athlete. Another offensive board.
Plumlee again, and a chance for 3.
Kentucky is just watching the ball when it goes up on the backboard. There is very little physicality on the part of the UK big guys. Plumlee just took Skal Labissiere right down the lane and just discarded him. Got him on the underside and was able to just knock him out of the way. That was the strength of Plumlee against the finesse and athleticism of Labissiere.
And Labissiere called for the foul. Plumlee has all 9 points for Duke. Less than 4 minutes into the game. His career high is 12. And he's already got 9 tonight. Briscoe out of control, blocked by Plumlee, and it eventually bounces into the hands of Jones.
A lot of body contact, but the players are keeping their hands off each other. It's been a hard-played game. It's certainly not. There's a lot of physicality, which is good. Nothing wrong with physical.
Ingram baseline drive on Poitras, and the offensive foul on the freshman.
Drop that shoulder. Great job by Poitras to take the charge.
We will step aside for the first time tonight. A good start here in Chicago with the Wildcats and the Blue Devils tied at 9. Freshman to phenom Skal Labissiere with a dunk for the Wildcats. Marshall Plumlee dominant on the interior for the Blue Devils.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm.
Freshman Okafor, Winslow Jones, and also Quinn Cook, who had an outstanding year as a senior. So it's a team with a lot of new faces, and it's a team, Jay, where some of the returning faces need to step up and assume larger roles than they did last year, and that leads us to Marshall Plumlee.
Well, who predicted that Marshall Plumlee would score 9 straight in this one? Out of the gate. What a tremendous job that he's done getting second shots when Kentucky has their first shot defense has been good. You give up those easy second ones, and it puts you in a little bit of trouble.
So he's got all 9 tonight.
Grayson Allen switching off on Jamal Murray. He's a guy that can get hot in a hurry.
And he buries the 3. Kentucky back on top.
And Murray just coming off those baseline screens, gets his feet set quickly. He is a big-time talent.
Grayson Allen with a full head of steam, rejected. I think it was Isaac Humphries, the freshman from Australia. Ulis got bumped, no whistle, but he will finish. And Kentucky with another basket in transition.
Boy, how about Tyler Ulis using his body to shield off the defender and finish that play? But Kentucky's big guys have done a pretty darn good job of protecting the lane. They just got to do a better job of rebounding.
Jones pulls up to the long jumper. Loose ball. Allen got a piece of it, but it's out of bounds to Kentucky.
It looked like Humphries pushed Grayson Allen, but look at this block. Goes straight up and gets it right out of the air. Body contact was after the block, so therefore ruled incidental, but a really nice job of shielding off Matt Jones with his body. Tyler Eulis, he hasn't played his best basketball in the first couple games of the season. But he is capable of much, much better.
7 assists and 6 turnovers in the first 2 games, but showed enough last year that everybody knew he would become a force this year. No more platoons. That's all done with. Different style for Kentucky, different personnel. And boy, would they love, would John Calipari love to see a healthy Alex Poitras just go out there, be an athlete, and make some plays.
Yeah, and he's coming off that knee injury. It's easy to say be an athlete, but that's the way he's got to play. He's got to run the floor, rebound, finish plays.
This is Luke Kennard, a terrific shooter, another one of the freshmen. He's from Franklin, Ohio, has not shown what he can do shooting the ball in the games, lights it up in practice, and the Duke staff feels that he's right on the cusp of letting loose in a game.
Well, he averaged 38 points a game in high school in Ohio. He's the second all-time leading scorer in that state. That John Diebler went to Ohio State. I'll tell you what, in this game, you have got to have all 5 guys go to the defensive glass. Right now, Kentucky's letting their big guys rebound. The guards have to rebound as well, because between Emil Jefferson and Marshall Plumlee, those guys are outstanding offensive rebounders. You can't just rebound with them one-on-one.
Eulis creates a little space off to Humphreys, who missed the jumper well long. Loose ball, run down and saved by Plumlee. We are better than 6 minutes into the game. Nobody for Duke has scored other than Plumlee until now. Emil Jefferson with a chance for 3.
Duke is said to be a guard-dominated team, but right now their 2 front court players have dominated their scoring. Nice pass and a good little hesitation fake. And Jefferson goes up strong. He's averaging a double-double coming into this game. Senior from Philadelphia, was a McDonald's All-American. He's a talented player, but has been, role play. Now, role player sometimes means limited to fans, but he's not limited. He's a good basketball player.
3-point deficit for Duke. Jefferson at the line. And the offensive rebound for Kennard. Jones will tie the game.
Anytime there is an offensive rebound, that is the primary time you want to get a 3, because everybody's thinking about running the other way. You get a step-in 3. And John Calipari wanted to limit the catch-and-shoot opportunities of Duke.
Foul there called on Derek Thornton, trying to stay in front of Tyler Eulis.
Kentucky has got to become a more physical basketball team. They are not blocking out, and there's no reason that you should give up second chances off of a missed free throw. Kentucky needs to be more physical on screens, and they need to be more physical on blockouts, because right now they would be ahead were it not for the offensive glass.
Derek Willis into the game for Kentucky, the junior, off to a good start this year, playing a lot, scoring a lot in the first 2 games, and Willis and Lebisiere are both up going for the rebound, and the ruling is that one of them was called for basket interference. John Calipari not sure he agrees with that call.
Well, that's the kind of thing that a coach can live with when you got 3 guys attacking the offense with 3 blue shirts in the air.
Wow.
And 4 white shirts watching. Duke was fortunate there.
7 minutes in, tied at 14. Jones, left-handed layup, in and out, rebound Lebisiere.
Kentucky gets the ball out quickly.
Murray the kick. Willis open for 3. Murray with the offensive rebound, rolls off the rim. Lebisiere has it swatted away.
Transition defense is at a premium. When Kentucky gets conversion, they are gone the other way. You have got to sprint back.
Murray for 3. Wide left.
Taking a shot without a pass. That is a recipe for disaster.
Thornton end-to-end, and another rejection. Lebisiere got a fingertip on it, and a foul call going against Duke.
John Calipari is furious at Jamal Murray right now for taking that jump shot. He wants him to drive the ball to the basket, put it on the floor, and attack. Now, he can make that shot, but if you do it off of a drive.
Drive the ball is what he's saying. Yep.
You're a good lip reader.
I leave out the odd word here and there, although he didn't use any in that side. But you've seen a lot of, both of us have seen a lot of Murray. Do you consider him more of a scorer than a pure shooter?
Yeah, I think that's right. And he's a big-time scorer.
Yeah.
Little hook there.
Lebisiere called for the foul, using the left arm to try to get around the defender. That is the second on him. We'll see if John Calipari is going to leave him in the game.
I can't imagine he's going to leave him in for very long. He's got to get him out of there. He probably should have gotten him out before this play. We'll see if Duke goes right at him, because if you can get a third on him right now, that's a huge play.
Bernard, the lefty drive, soft off the glass, kept alive by Poitras, and another foul against Duke. This one is on Chase Jeter, another one of their freshmen. He hails from Las Vegas. Media timeout on the court. Kentucky and Duke all tied up. Driven. Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago, the first of two, Kentucky and Duke, and what a run it has been for John Calipari in Lexington. Since coming to Kentucky in 2009, 18 Kentucky players have been chosen in the first round of the draft, and even more remarkably, 15 of those 18 have been freshmen. 12 of them have been lottery picks, and 3 of them have been the top overall pick, including Karl Anthony Towns just this past summer.
Just an amazing array of talent, and an array of talent that for the last 3 years Duke has started to match. Mike Krzyzewski and John Calipari both have been dominant in recruiting the top level talents, and you recruit top talents, they're going to have an opportunity to leave early. I'll tell you what, Dan, like right now, game's tied 14-14. 12 of Duke's 14 points are off of offensive rebounds. They got a 3 off of a missed free throw offensive rebound. And if you take away their second shots, they haven't had much offensively.
Let's check in with Shannon Spade.
Well, guys, John Calipari, you heard him say drive the ball. He just wants these guys to be a lot more aggressive, something he's talked about this season so far. He said they're driving it, they're throwing it up in the air, knowing they're not going to make it, knowing we're not going to crack down. We've got to be tougher.
And you would think with the emphasis on freedom of movement, calling, hand checking, teams that like to drive, Jay, will probably drive even more than they have in the past.
No question. And you know, I don't think it's going to change all that much. I mean, Kentucky is a team that last year, the year before that would have driven the ball. They've got so many guys that are playmakers, and I'll tell you, Isaiah Briscoe just did an excellent job defensively, making that catch by Luke Kennard difficult. He forced that turnover.
Briscoe, and a block is the call on Jeter. Jeter's second foul.
Jeter's a 7-footer. Not sure he should be trying to take charges, because the play before, he did a great job of going straight up and challenging without picking up a foul.
As Jay talked about, 12 of the 14 Duke points tonight have come on second possessions, on second chance opportunities. And both teams getting into the paint. Kentucky had 3 or 4 baskets in transition, just flying down the court after Duke misses earlier in the game.
Boy, it is tough to get the ball in bounds with Brandon Ingram guarding. He's got a 7'3" wingspan. He is going to be at the point of a 1-3-1 at times, and he's going to be guarding the ball out of bounds. Kentucky got away with a walk there.
Ingram guarding Murray right now. Lee with a drive over Plumlee, and down with a rebound, Jefferson.
Big guys on both teams are making opponents shoot over the top without fouling. And so far, they've been missing those opportunities.
They're trying to take advantage of Ulis down to the post. 5'9" guarding the 6'5" Matt Jones. And we have a held ball. The arrow will keep it with Duke, as Marshall Plumlee was putting the ball on the floor from the three-point line and driving.
Well, that's what Kentucky wants in that situation. You had Tyler Ulis, who was basically fronting Matt Jones and sitting on his legs, and then you tried to pressure, so you take away vision. They can't throw over the top. And if Marshall Plumlee, who's had a great game, John Calipari wants him driving it from the top of the key. That's not his game.
Now Ingram to inbound it. Isaac Humphries has checked back in. He's on Plumlee right now. Keep an eye on the matchup. Now it's Ulis on Grayson Allen. Allen has been quiet in the early going.
Marshall Plumlee is a graduate student. He's got to be 23 years old. And Humphries is 17.
Shot clock violation. Well, they're growing big in Australia. 7 foot 270 at the age of 17. Look at what's coming up on the second game tonight. Journey to the Tourney presented by Sonic is the second game of the State Farm Champions Classic. Number 4 Kansas and number 13 Michigan State going at it in the nightcap here tonight in Chicago. This will be Kentucky ball.
Kentucky's done a nice job of creating some movement, and then with that dribble drive motion of getting the ball into the lane. But I think they've got to be a little bit smarter and a little bit tougher when they're putting those shots up. Runner, floater. I think they're pulling the trigger on these and kind of pulling the string too much.
Last basket for Kentucky was better than 5 minutes ago. Nice dish. Humphries from Lee.
How about that pass? A little dish off from Murray to Lee, and that was a great pass from the baseline to Humphries.
Marcus Lee, another guy who's going to have a larger role than he did last year, you would imagine. Ingram, nice look. And Jefferson slams it home to tie the game.
I'll tell you, Matt Jones did a very nice job against Tyler Ulis' pressure. He kind of backed him down, got the ball to a cutting Ingram, and a terrific pass to Jefferson.
And now here's 6'9" Ingram on 5'9" Ulis. Briscoe, tough one, off balance, and it goes.
He can make tough shots. Seth Greenberg has called him a ball guard, and he's a big-time guard.
And now Jamal Murray called for the block.
Brandon Ingram is basically a 6'9" guard. Coming off that little curl when Marcus Lee steps up. Anytime you help up, you're vulnerable to a drop-off. And that was a really nice pass by Brandon Ingram. I'm not sure there's another player in college basketball that's quite like Ingram. He's built like Kevin Durant. Doesn't shoot it like Durant, but he's built like Durant. He's not a forward. He's a guard.
Let's go to Shannon.
Yeah, guys, and we talk about how much a player changes from when they start college to when they go on to the NBA. Take a look at Brandon Ingram since he got to Duke. When he first got here on the left, he's gained 30 pounds on the right. They have him listed at 190, but still, you obviously can see he has a lot more weight to gain.
So he was down around 160 pounds as a 6'9" guy.
Well, if he gained 30 pounds, I don't know where he's put it, because he still looks like he weighs 160 pounds, but he's a big-time talent.
Foul on Ingram, his second, and that'll put Kentucky into the bonus. Kennard is going to check in for Ingram. Big numbers in the first two games for Ingram, although he shot the ball much better in the second game. A win over Bryant than he did in the first game, a win over Siena.
When was the last time you weighed 160? I was 8.
A long, long time ago. I'm glad they're not showing before and after pictures of us in our suits over the last 15 years or so. That's not doing anybody any good. The pace has slowed down a bit here in the last few minutes. It's tied at 18 in Chicago. Allen rises up for the jumper off the back of the iron. Jefferson with a rebound and a putback.
Boy, Duke is dominating Kentucky on the glass. They're just dominating Kentucky on the glass.
First lead now for Duke, and a foul before the shot is called on Allen.
Well, that's the one thing in watching tape at Kentucky. I did not think that the Wildcats have been very physical on screens. They're not hitting bodies on screens. And I can tell you for an absolute fact, they're not hitting bodies. Scalabiciere hasn't been in the game since the 12-minute mark with 2 fouls. But they have not laid a body on anybody on the glass. Not anybody.
Lee goes out. And Poitras comes back in, maybe to lend an added element of muscle on the defensive glass. Tyler Ulis at the free throw line for Kentucky.
You know, on first shot attempts on possessions, Duke can't be shooting more than 20%. But with those second shots, and that's what's keeping them in the game.
Pressure from Kentucky. And again, no prototypical, no true point guard. Although Mike Krzyzewski does not define the positions that way, but no true point guard in the starting five for Duke. Allen, what a block. Humphreys with his second of the night.
Boy, with the left hand, that was big time.
And Kentucky flying down the court again. Murray can't finish. But getting after it is Poitras.
And it all started with a great block shot from the youngest player on the court, Isaac Humphreys. Here's the finish of all that. Murray missing it. Nobody boxing out an outstanding offensive rebounder in Alex Poitras. And you talk about playing like an elite athlete, and that's exactly what Poitras did there. And one. But what a block by Humphreys.
Humphreys has really made his presence felt at the defensive end of the floor. Now he runs down the rebound and then turns it over. Put it on the deck. And then gets it back for a moment.
That's the difference between a senior and a freshman. The freshman bent over at the waist, the senior dove for it.
And now Humphreys called for the foul. Not popular with Kentucky fans here in this building.
Well, that was a good call.
7:55 to go. Kentucky and Duke going at it here at the United Center. Emil Jefferson slamming one home for the Blue Devils. Poitras with the answer for the Cats.
It's been a long time running.
Point before the last time out about a difference between a freshman and a senior. show it to us.
Well, Isaac Humphries has played great in this game. Loose ball, Humphries is bending over for it. Marshall Plumlee dives on the floor, gets possession of it, starts a break in an advantage situation for Duke. And look, this happens to a lot of young players. Humphries is 17 years old. He's got a great future ahead of him. His present is pretty darn good. But everybody kind of learns that the hard way. You bend over for the ball, another guy dives on it. It's kind of a who wants it more type scenario. But I think Isaac Humphries just learned a really valuable lesson. And my guess is he won't let that happen again.
The 50-year senior Marshall Plumlee had the 4 minutes of his life at the beginning of the game. He scored the first 9 points tonight for Duke. If you weren't with us early, the leading scorer for Kentucky's Isaiah Briscoe with 6. Kansas and Michigan State still to come in the second game tonight from the United Center.
He may leave Chicago and talk about Kansas as perhaps being the best team here. It's very possible. Like the Jayhawks, they do not have the same kind of lottery talent with an Andrew Wiggins or Joel Embiid as they've had. But boy, can they play.
Bernard misses the corner 3. And down with a rebound is Briscoe, who had 12 rebounds in Kentucky's last game against the New Jersey Institute of Technology. 11 of them at the defensive end.
A 2-3 zone right now for Duke. They've been playing more zone, 2-3, 3-2, a little 1-3-1. Giving a different look to Kentucky, trying to protect the paint. But you still have to drive the zone.
Lewis will try to drive, sneaks inside, tries to find Humphries, rolls off the rim, and the rebound down to Plumlee.
And that's a play that Humphries tried to finish with the left hand. He's got to finish that.
Allen. Weak side rebound, Jefferson, he'll kick it out.
Going for blocked shots. Pointers went for that block shot. There's a 3rd foul on Humphries, isn't it?
And a chance for 3 for Jefferson. Or did they call the foul before the shot?
I think it was before. But when Pointers went for that block shot, that opens up the offensive glass. And that has been such a huge part of Duke's offense.
And it is the 3rd on Humphries. He'll sit down. At the line for Duke, Emil Jefferson, one of the many who has worn the number 21 with honor down in Boone. First immortalized by my partner Jay Boone. Not first immortalized, one of the guys who immortalized it back in the 80s.
More like disgraced.
Who are some of the other 21s?
Oh, Robert Brickey. Trajan Langdon is pretty good. I've not done the math on this, but I think that 21 might be the most productive number in Duke history. Because everybody's been good, but not good enough to get it retired.
Ulis with a baseline jumper.
Kentucky's patient and drives the gaps of this zone. Duke has been playing zone, but not necessarily a zone team. And they can still get good opportunities.
There's Jones. Floater. Yes. Duke back within 2.
But Matt Jones is a good player. Not a great player, but he is just solid in every respect. And I think the best defender on this Duke team.
And they're looking to him really to fill a big leadership role with the departure of Quinn Cook. And Mike Krzyzewski thinks he's doing that tremendously well so far this year. Poitras couldn't finish at the rim.
Looked like Plumlee got a hand on that from behind and blocked it. Just knocked it out of Poitras' hands. But Kentucky did a good job driving the gap to get that.
Plumlee driving and draws the foul.
What a game Marshall Plumlee's had.
NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. You see a couple of Wildcats. Anthony Davis and the Pelicans take it on OKC, and then it'll be the Chicago Bulls. So Derrick Rose had Kentucky practice earlier today. Rolled his ankle last night. It'll be Chicago taking on Eric Bledsoe and the Phoenix Suns. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7:30 with Tracy McGrady joining the crew. Eric Thornton back into the game now for Duke. As Kennard will sit down.
Really important 6 minutes before halftime. Pascal Labissiere still out of the game and will likely be out the remainder of the first half with those 2 fouls. Isaac Humphries with 3.
So it's Poitras and Lee, the big guys in there right now for the Wildcats.
Duke back to man-to-man.
Ulis finds a wide open Poitras, misses the 3. Rebound down to Lee. Rejected by Plumlee, got it back. Now it's Poitras, blocked by Plumlee. Duke ball.
Well, what a stand.
I'll tell you, Duke is nowhere close in this game right now without Marshall Plumlee.
Yeah, he went straight up and just forced him to shoot over, and Kentucky's not finishing plays close to the basket. Nice job by Briscoe to stay in front.
Off the leg of Thornton. Shot clock down inside 5. Jones. And here come the Cats.
Kentucky's got an opportunity to be a special team defensively. If they get after it, they've got to rebound. That's the one thing that they have not done in this game. They got to get all 5 guys rebounding. But if they decide they're going to move their feet and get out in pressure, they've got a chance to be very good defensively, just different from last year's team.
Here's Murray. Got the switch. Has Plumlee on it now. Kicks it to Ulis.
Plenty of time.
Briscoe checks the clock. He'll put it up and bank it home.
Well, that mouth guard has been everywhere but in his mouth all game long. It's amazing how he can play like that. It's remarkable.
4-point lead, Kentucky. Thornton around the Plumlee screen. Pick and roll. Plumlee hit hard at the rim. I think it's going to go on Poitras. No, it'll be Lee. Marcus Lee called for the foul, his second.
Oh, what a strong move. Side pick and roll in the slot. Open side. And a nice little pocket pass. You can see Briscoe here just pulling up and knocking it off the glass. I'm sure he didn't call that, but never seen a guy play a full game. That's never been in his mouth. It's amazing.
I think it's proven to be more effective than it actually is in there. But you're right, it's been like that from the national anthem onward tonight. Calipari's been stalking that sideline most of the night. Mike Krzyzewski's been a lot quieter over on the Duke side.
Well, he's been sitting down. He hasn't been quieter.
Big difference. Spoken like a guy who played for him. 3-point lead, Kentucky, inside 4 minutes to go in the first half. Poitras. And Jefferson, another rebound for Duke.
Well, Plumlee has done a nice job protecting the basket. Has not blocked a ton of shots, but he's changed some shots.
Jefferson wanted the ball inside. He had Ulis on him, but Jones took the 3 and missed it badly. And at the other end, Lee with a slam.
Well, when Kentucky gets a rebound, they are gone. They just haven't gotten many of them.
Well, as you've said so many times, the first shot's like the first pass in your opponent's fast break, and that was the case right there. 8-0 they lead in the fast break department. Allen, too much size, bothered by Lee.
It looked like he got fouled there because Lee brought his arms down. Nice move.
Ulis coast to coast, biggest lead of the night for Kentucky. Big Blue Nation is in the house here in Chicago. And the Wildcats have upped the lead to 7 over Duke. 2:57 to go in the first half. When we come back.
All right, back to you, Dan.
All right, guys, thank you. Good one here. Kentucky on a bit of a run right now, leading Duke 31-24 in the last 3 minutes of the first half. Here with the State Farm Champions Classic, Michigan State and Kansas, game number 2 tonight.
Duke's got to get Grayson Allen going. He's 0 for 8, has not scored. He's averaging 27.
He just picked up an assist on the 3 by Derek Thornton, the freshman's first points of the night.
Allen set a back screen, got the ball, and then attacked. And oftentimes when a player sets a screen, you're going to be open. It's not necessarily the cutter that's going to be open, it's the screener.
Duke back in a man-to-man defense.
Briscoe and Ulis have been very good. Combined, they're 7 of 8.
Ulis cut off, cross-court Murray. Gets inside, floater, a little bit short. Lee down with an offensive rebound. That is his specialty. In the first 2 games for Kentucky this year, he ripped down 12 offensive rebounds.
Well, and that's been his specialty his entire career. He gets offensive rebounds in bunches. You like the way Jamal Murray, instead of taking that jump shot on the reversal, put the ball on the floor. John Calipari wants his team to drive it.
Thornton, step-back jumper, back-to-back field goals for the freshman.
Thornton got off to a slow start his first couple games, still feeling his way around. It's too easy.
Ulis over the top to Lee.
That is way too easy. Great play and great vision by Tyler Ulis.
Kentucky by 6. Allen still scoreless in the game, and as Jay mentioned, averaging 27 in Duke's first 2 games this year against Siena and Bryant.
Kentucky's downing ball screens. They're keeping it to the same side. You got to throw back and reverse it.
Matt Jones with a long 2. Three guards, Briscoe, Murray, Ulis getting comfortable playing together as a unit. Briscoe the kick, and he threw it in between his 2 teammates. Turns it over.
Well, Duke returning the favor. They're icing that ball screen, keeping it to the same side, and a great job running the floor by Marcus Lee. Got behind the defense. No pressure at all on Ulis, so he's able to casually just throw that ball up. Never took his eyes off the floor.
Final minute of the first half. Allen turns the corner again. He's tried this shot a number of times, but just too much length for Kentucky. And they made it really hard on Grayson Allen tonight. Ulis open. Look at Lee soaring in, but
Stepped out of bounds.
yeah.
But so what? What a great play and great hustle by Marcus Lee.
The Jeep halftime report is moments away and live right here from the United Center. Look at these 3 guys: Reese Davis, Jay Williams, and Seth Greenberg with analysis of the first. Back to the great city of Chicago, the State Farm Champions Classic. Kentucky and Duke in the first game tonight, and Kentucky with the lead, and they would have a much bigger lead, Jay, were it not for a great performance tonight from Marshall Plumlee.
Now, who among these great analysts we've got here predicted that we would be doing a Marshall Plumlee package of highlights in this Duke-Kentucky game? But he's been outstanding. He has played incredibly hard. He has protected the rim. His offensive rebounding has been magnificent. This is the best game that Marshall Plumlee's ever played at any level. He's been outstanding.
11 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the first half. About a 4 or 5 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock as Duke tries to narrow the deficit here at the end of the half.
Jamal Murray has done a nice job not only driving the ball, but defensively he's done a nice job as well. A great job by Marcus Lee to stay in front.
It's still loose. It still belongs to Duke, but not for long. Briscoe.
Oh! What a beautiful play by Isaiah Briscoe.
And what a finish to the first half for Kentucky.
Marcus Lee moving his feet as a big guy and staying in front made that play. Terrific little pass ahead by Jamal Murray. And you can't teach this kind of play. Thornton falls down, opens it up. I mean, who teaches this? That's magnificent.
Shannon Spake is with John Calipari.
Coach, you guys are playing with a lot of energy, but how important is it to increase that energy on the glass?
Are you watching this game?
I am watching this game.
We can't rebound. They're throwing us out of the way. Marcus Lee finally started to fight back. Alex needs to be the elite athlete he is. Scal wouldn't fight. We couldn't get balls. Plumlee had the first 9 points of the game. It was 9-9. He's not their scorer. So we'll rebound in the second half or we'll lose. All the other stuff we're doing is fine. Spreading the court, we're beating them on the bounce, we're figuring it out. So you got to rebound. That's this whole game. If you defend and then they throw it, because what they're doing is they're just trying to get it over our center's head, knowing we're not cracking down on the weak side, which they're right. We're not.
Thank you, Coach.
See ya.
John Calipari, always entertaining in the interview coming off the court. Kentucky entertaining tonight, leading Duke 37-31 at the half here in Chicago. After the break, it is the Jeep halftime report. Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams. Don't miss it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Arby's. Arby's.
Fined for a goose egg. 0 points, 0 of 11 from the field. And Duke is going to have to get much tougher in the second half, and they're going to have to face Scalavissiere in the second half, and also Isaac Humphries, who sat out a good portion of the first half for foul trouble.
Let's bring back in Shannon Spade.
Well, guys, that big goose egg was certainly mentioned in the halftime locker room for Duke, specifically with Grayson Allen. The team told me he's taken shots against this Kentucky team, the same shots he took the first 2 games. This defense is a lot different. He's going to have to adjust. They also mentioned the perimeter. They said we're just absolutely getting bullied there and in transition.
Well, Allen, a lot of the misses were on drives as he went to his right and tried to loft them up and over Kentucky defenders, but just so much length for this Kentucky defense as Jamal Murray drives, and he is fouled by Marshall Plumlee. That'll be the second on the big man for Duke.
Well, Murray just sought out the body of Marshall Plumlee. He's a much better athlete, Murray is, than he gets credit for. He had 30 points and was the MVP of that Nike event in Portland. I'll tell you, he is a big-time player.
Also had a chance to play internationally in the summer, played in the Pan Am Games, and spearheaded a win for Canada over the United States in the semifinal. He had no points, Jay, at the end of 3 quarters. And at the end of overtime, he had 22 points. Scored 22 in the 4th and in overtime as he misses both free throws.
Unusual. He's an outstanding shooter.
6-point lead for Kentucky. We're just underway here in the second half. And don't go anywhere after this one. We've got the college football top 25 ranking show between games, and then Kansas and Michigan State coming in the second game tonight as Ingram is called for the foul. That will be the 3rd on the freshman. And we'll see if Mike Krzyzewski's going to leave him in. So far, it looks like he will.
Well, Kentucky is icing or downing the ball screen. So when there's a side ball screen, they're keeping it to that side. That's the first time Duke threw out of it to reverse the ball. And Brandon Ingram tried to take Tyler Ulis down into the post, or tried to bully him, and the referees called an offensive foul.
Ulis guarded by Allen. 3-guard look for most of the night for Kentucky. Ulis has had a very strong night. Pass deflected by the length of Ingram. Kentucky retains possession. Risco had a terrific first half. Misses the reverse. Rebound Jefferson.
A smart play by Jefferson. He was going to outlet it to Jones, and Murray was lying in wait to steal that, and Jefferson spotted it.
Ingram spinning, adjusting, and finishing.
There you can see the talent of Brandon Ingram. He's got the opportunity to be a big-time player. There is no one else in college basketball quite like him. He did not play well in the first half, but he's got much better in him.
Murray can't get by Plumlee. Nice look inside. Marcus Lee with a finish.
A nice pass and a great catch by Marcus Lee. Jefferson just a little bit late getting there from the weak side.
Allen lost it. Murray's got it, and it's out of bounds after a foul committed by Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen is totally out of sorts. He did not play well in the first half, and coming into the second half, he did not start out well. Turning the ball over, trying to bring it up against the pressure of Isaiah Briscoe, just mishandled it and doesn't really get after the ball and compounds the error by fouling.
Allen will sit, and Thornton back in now at the point for Duke. Briscoe. Briscoe with a crossover, driving on Ingram, and rejected. Either Ingram or Plumlee got that block.
Before Kentucky drives, they've got get a little bit more movement. But they're driving against the set defense, and they're more than good enough. These guys are more than good enough to get the ball on initial drive, but they're not getting it past the help.
Wide open Ulis. Missed it badly, and the rebound down to Duke.
Scalavissiere about to come back into the game. Didn't start the second half. Didn't want to pick up that 3rd foul quickly.
Jones with a shot fake and a 3. Matt Jones really shooting the ball well in the early going this season.
Anytime you can get Matt Jones to put the ball on the floor, you have a better opportunity. You don't want him in catch and shoot situations, but he really took that shot with a lot of confidence.
He has made 8 of 14 threes so far in the young season. And Duke back within 3. Long stretch without a whistle here to the outset of the second half. Oh, Murray with a reverse.
Are you kidding me? What a play. Goes right past the outstretched arms of Marshall Plumlee, the other side of the basket, majoring in English.
5-point lead Kentucky. 7 now for Murray. Ingram, he can get his shot about any time he wants because of his length. Can't finish it, but Jefferson has been all over the glass at both ends tonight. Threw it away. Ulis ahead to Murray for the easy 2.
You make a mistake and Kentucky's laying it in on the other end. This can be an outstanding transition team and has proven it throughout this ball game.
And the lead back to 7 for Kentucky. Duke has led for 5 seconds in this game. There's a block by Lee. Loose ball to Ulis. Foul by Jefferson.
Well, you bring that ball down, and Tyler Ulis was just waiting there. Kind of like years ago, Muggsy Bogues used to do. Bring the ball down. You're a beast, and you bring it down below your waist, and he takes it away from you. But this is a big-time move by Jamal Murray. You kidding me? That's awesome. What a great player.
And then here's the Ulis feed on the turnover.
Just throws it out ahead of Murray, and you make a mistake and convert. It's going the other way on conversion.
Fast break points, Jay. 14-0 Kentucky.
You know, it's funny, they calculate fast break points a little bit different from what I would call transition. I think in transition, Kentucky's actually scored more points.
Floater by Murray, not there. Labissiere with a follow.
He sat out a long time, but made his impact known as soon as he came in. Nobody lays a body on Labissiere and lays it right in.
And the freshman ups the lead to 9, the largest of the night for the Wildcats. Off the fingertips of Plumlee. Numbers for Kentucky. Murray, no, and Lee with the follow. That was actually a 5-on-1.
Just been a transition clinic by Kentucky. Poor pass by Thornton, and they turn it into a bucket.
Double-digit lead, Kentucky. Duke desperately needs a basket. Ingram will draw the foul and shoot a couple of free throws when we come back. Great start here in the second half for Kentucky. And still to come, game number 2 tonight. KU is in the house. The Kansas Jayhawks and the Michigan State Spartans in the second game of the State Farm Champions Classic.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college